Yeah. Yes. You, the, because the king also had during the Second World War, the Brits protected the Norwegian king. Do you remember that? So there's a big history there, and Prince Philip would know about that because he was a naval command. He's that's his world, right? Yeah, and Norway. Yep, Norway played a very important part with the British during the Second World War. As you know, the tree in Trafalgar Square that everyone in England see every year is from Norway. So every year, Norway as a gift, as a thank you for protecting the King of Norway, and so I think that moment there with you, and that's why I asked you this, because I was hoping I thought it was going to be Our Lady the Queen that would ask you that, but
yeah,
that's definitely
I know.
Philip.
It was Prince Philip. But it was just so he was very nice. I mean, I'm making it sound like we stood there for 10 minutes. We didn't. It was a lovely conversation, but it was just really funny. I was standing there trying to hold my own against this thing. But what was funny about Buckingham Palace that people won't know, and we didn't know this, was that we were kept in the basement where it looks like an honest to God school from the 50s. Like that's what it looks like in the basement of Buckingham Palace. And everything was massively old from like that kind of look. And when you walked up to get into the actual gilded part, and this is what my memory says. Now, whether this is accurate or not, I can't tell you because who knows with memories. But this is what I remember, is that you would walk up the staircase that looked like a concrete kind of staircase, like a stone staircase. And then you get halfway up and suddenly it's gold painted and it's got red velvet. So it was like Narnia, right? You go from one to the other. So we went from like the poor downstairs to the wealthy upstairs. It was so funny. You come up the staircase and then you're in the palace. So when you're standing in the palace looking down the stairs, it looks like a gilded staircase, but it's only gilded halfway until you can't see.
Wow.
Yeah. So they don't waste any of that gold on the poor people downstairs, I can tell you. It's reserved for the people upstairs only.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
like you shabby people downstairs, you servants, you stay down there. Yeah, none of that.
Oh man! And then you another.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Keep it real, right? Another. And talking about keeping real, right? You got to perform in the presence of one of my favorite human being on the planet, man, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, and this was another one of those. Sorry, I keep banging my mic. This is another one of those moments that it feels like I wished it into being. Because when I was a little girl and they did Live Aid and all of that, and I remember that song, Free Nelson Mandela. Free Nelson Mandela. Do you remember this song? And I remember this used to play all the time. And his story when I was little really moved me so deeply. And I remember we watched a film that had like Donald Sutherland, which was about the whole struggle in South Africa of that time. And, growing up in Norway, we didn't hardly have black people in Norway then, Oris, because there wasn't anyone there. I think the first people I ever saw, they were in my secondary school, unless they were adopted. So his struggle, and his story really moved me so deeply as a child. And I'd prayed so intently for him to get out. It felt so important to me growing up that this man be freed. And every time he spoke, I just felt like there was something so incredibly fated about him. There was something so big around that man that he had so much power in his words. So then, years ago, I heard that they were going to do a huge concert in my hometown of Tromsø in the Arctic Circle in order to raise awareness about HIV/AIDS. And this was to be led by Nelson Mandela's charity, the 46664 charity, right? Yeah. And I had watched some of the other 46664 concerts, you could see them on TV and stuff like that. And they have always the biggest music stars, right? And I heard that they were doing this in my hometown. So I rang, like I did with the whole Frozen thing. And I was like, hey, I hear that you're doing this in my hometown. I would love to be involved in this in any way possible. These are my credentials. I will do anything. I was saying I will, I can present, I can do whatever you want. I would love to be involved in this event because this is huge for my town. Heard nothing. Like, not even thank you for getting in touch. No word, nothing, heard nothing.
Oh my goodness.
This is very Norwegian, by the way. It is. They don't respond. They literally ghost you. Like, it's the most... It's very hard to stay confident in Norway because they just ghost you. So I was like, shit, okay, they're not even writing back. Jesus, have I offended them? Like, what is going on? Anyway, heard nothing, literally nothing. And I thought, wow, okay, well, that's not happening. That's a shame. 2 weeks before this is happening, I get a very cheerful phone call going, hi, yeah, this is from the 46664 organizers for the concert. We were wondering, actually, would you be willing to present the whole concert with a South African DJ called DJ Sugar? And also, we would love for you to sing Dancing Queen.
Oh,
I was like, what? This is hysterical, right? I haven't heard a word. 2 weeks before this bloody event. They're like, yeah, actually, can you come and host the whole thing? What? No preparation, So I was like, of course I can. Yeah, I can do all of it. I could do this. So, so it turns out, okay, so the lineup is, get this, Annie Lennox, Brian May, Robert Plant, Peter Gabriel, who else was there? It was like loads of Norwegian artists as well. And Angelica Kidjo from South Africa, who's a massive star there. And it was just like, what the hell? I'm going to be presenting this concert and singing at this concert. But the craziest thing, was, so when I got there, I said to the woman who was responsible for the press, and she was English, so she was delightful, obviously. And I said, listen, I know that there's a press conference for Nelson Mandela, and I know that this has nothing to do with me, and it's probably, a bit cheeky to ask, but it would mean so much to me to get to meet Nelson Mandela. So if there's any way that I can say hi to him, I would really, really appreciate that. It would mean the world to me. She said, I'll see what I can do. So she just said, this is the time of the press conference. Just be available just in case. And I was like, okay. So I'm standing in the bathroom, drying my hair, and the phone call comes. She goes, can you be here in 5 minutes? Like in the lobby of the hotel. And I'm standing there with wet hair. And I was like, yes, I can. And I'm like, speed drying my hair. And I run downstairs, right? And she was like, she waved me over. It's going to make me cry. And I got to go over to him, and he was blind at this point pretty much, and he was quite weak. So he had to sit. So he was in a chair, and I go over to him, and I lean over, and I sit, and I take his hand, and he just has this energy. It's like a force field around this man, right? He's like a Jedi. He's like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And I'm standing there, and I've got his hand, and I say, in my most sincere voice, I'm like, it's a great honor to meet you, Mr. Mandela. And he goes, yes, it's a great honor for a young lady like you to meet me. As a joke. And sorry, that was very good South African
Yeah,
accent.
that was beautiful. That was good. You know, I lived in South Africa for a while, but that's another story. So you nailed it.
Thank you.
You nailed the
So, like,
Afrikaans.
his deep
Come
voice,
on.
right? And he's laughing, and I was like, okay, it was a joke. It was a joke because I was like, so we were laughing, and all the press were laughing, and then I get to stand next to him, and you can see I've never experienced this before in a press room, where all the photographers look teary-eyed. Okay, everyone is so, it's like being in the presence of holiness. That's the only way I can describe it. That's what it felt like to me. And we took our pictures, and he was so lovely, and that was my little meeting with Nelson Mandela. But getting to meet him and what he achieved in his life, the fact that he went through what he went through, the fact that he came out of prison with knowing all of Shakespeare, because that's, you know, what he was reading in there, and ruling South Africa and making the changes that he did, you know, and making it so different to what it was, and that it was him who did that. It's just, you know, after what they did to him, it's so incredibly powerful, and that he used his fame, if you will, you know, once he was done being prime minister, he used his name to campaign for awareness for HIV and AIDS because his son had AIDS. It's so moving to me. So then, you know, I got to do the concert, and the craziest moment was actually, so I'm sitting having lunch, right, in the green room, and I'm sitting on a table with next to Annie Lennox and Angelica Kidjo, that's how I say her name. Angelica Kidjo is sitting opposite me, and Brian May on the other side, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, this is so surreal. I'm sitting here having a normal conversation about normal stuff with these three musicians who are three of the most famous people on the planet and who have done so much in their careers. And they're the most sweet, gentle, down-to-earth people, right? And the funny thing with Annie Lennox, I've got to say, is that Annie is one of those people who, again, I've had this weird experience where when I lived in London, I bumped into Annie Lennox 3 times in London. By accident, 3 times. There's 7 million people in London, and I bump into Annie Lennox 3 times in my life in London, in totally different locations, totally randomly. And each time I have smiled at her and just said hi, and that's it. We have never, you know, talked or anything like that. And here I am sitting as an equal, having a conversation with Annie Lennox, and then she's on stage with Angelica Kidjo singing one of her most famous songs, and her and Angelica stand on stage, and they go, I'm backstage, and they go, Lisa, where are you? Lisa, you gotta come out here. And they invite me out on stage to sing with them, and Brian May is playing the guitar. So I was standing there having Annie Lennox call my name and Angelica Kidjo called my name to come out there and sing with them. And we're standing there singing like together. And DJ Sugar from South Africa, who, by the way, Rochelle, she's the most gorgeous, intelligent person. And she carried me through that. I will tell you, like, she's she knows how to present. And all respect to people who do it regularly, because I was new at this. So I was given the chance to try this. And they carried me, okay, and I would love to do that again because it was super fun, and I think I did a good job. But Rochelle was just amazing and really helped me through that show, and I was just kept watching her, you know, to know what to do. So I just copied Rochelle and everything. I was just like, okay, this is what Rochelle does. I'm going to do that. So it was an incredible experience, and I'm so glad. But the highlight, you know, performing with all these artists was huge. But meeting Madiba was like...
Madiba. This
biggest
is
thing.
this is the most beautiful thing, and I'm so glad you share this. One of my greatest highlights to date was being in the presence of him and Michael Jackson in Cape Town, South Africa, and the Victory Tour. Boom, boom,
Oh
boom, boom,
my
boom, boom.
God,
And
you
when he
are
walked
kidding
into the
me.
stadium in Cape Town,
Oh my God.
I couldn't feel my feet. I thought I was gonna pass out. Mandela is coming in, and the whole stadium just went, Madiba, Madiba. It was just like, I mean, then Michael Jackson, just being in that, and there I was, a young kid on my first TV series, just like you know, here I am in my 20s, and I'm like, is this what life is going to be? And being part of the generation who protested for him. So my friends and I, this very day, we have pictures of us protesting for his release outside the South Africa embassy, and we were kids. I didn't know. We were a bunch of kids who break dance and rap graffiti. And this one day, we gave our time. All of us met up for the protest. And you know, when I saw the picture not too long ago, I just sat there and said. Then years later, coming into South Africa, the year he was released. No, hold on. Not the year. The year he became the president. I come in 2 weeks of this man becoming the president, never thinking in my life that I would meet him in any way, shape, or form. I remember being in New York also when he came to America, Yankee Stadium, being received, and you could see from a distance this thing, and you never know that one day you will be in the midst or the place he went to jail, you know, and to, you know, thanks to Cicely Tyson, her inviting me as her guest of honor to go and open up Robben Island. As, you know, because originally they were going to turn Robben Island into a casino. This is where a man was locked up for 27. You know, so hearing your story and my, you know, and that's why, you know, like I said, we had that. This is like really, you're bringing back a lot of incredible memories here. And again, what a privilege to do what we do, because it's not just about, you know what, it's bigger than us. What we do is not for us. We're a vessel. Mandela is a vessel. I mean, we talk about him. He is a vessel, right? You could see, you know, I should be bragging about the Michael Jackson concert, being around him. No, but it's more Mandela, because that spirit is what, and that gift that, as being a child, not knowing what I was getting myself into, and seeing me years later, fast forward, and hearing your story, fast forward years later, being in a man's presence, having his palm in your, you understand? So for me, we are very fortunate, and I would really, any young artist or individual in the world of arts, in musical theater, musician, painter, watching this or listening to this, I think right now, this very moment, just really pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, I am grateful to be doing what I do for a living, because what we do for a living is the cover and what will set you on your mission in life. That's your mission in your hometown. No, Mandela came to you. And in Lennox, these people came to you in your hometown, your birthplace in the attic. That is, you couldn't script this. You understand, right? You couldn't script this. And that being said, though, I have to say, Lisa, you know, wow, you know, I know you and we have a lot of stuff that we're about to do. We're about to star in a, you know, fingers crossed, we're about to star in The Saints. You know what I mean? It's the biblical version of The Soprano meets The Succession. It's a crazy,
Yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to us.
Very funny script.
It is, right?
I really hope this happens, because it's a very, very good script.
It's
I
out
love
of this
it.
world. But can I ask you something?
Yeah.
of all of this, you know, the one thing out of all of this that, for me personally, what you are doing with ABBA, your collaboration with them. Wow, I believe this year is the 25th. I mean, can you, how did you and the relationship with ABBA, how did that manifest
Well,
to what it
so
is?
because I did the Mamma Mia original musical, um, this year is a huge anniversary year because it's 50 years since ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest with the song Waterloo, and it's the 25th year since Mamma Mia opened for the first time in the world in London in 1999, which was when I was in it. So I, had the chance to actually work with Ben and Björn during the making of Mamma Mia, especially Björn. He was around a lot. And I, got to work directly with him several times. We would, me and him and the pianist and Andrew Langtry, who was my co-star, who played Sky, we went once to this closed down piano shop. It was closed for the evening, and they locked us in there, and we were in the basement standing there rehearsing with Björn Ulvaeus. It was so surreal. Me and Andy were like, pinch me, getting to do this, and Benny also came several times, and they were just wonderful to us. They were so generous, and they were so very diligent in particular with their music. So when I sing ABBA, when I hear ABBA, I constantly have their instructions in my head, like how they want to have it sound. And so I decided, because I knew this big anniversary was coming up. So last year, I had this idea that I really wanted to share the music of ABBA with the people of Norway and hopefully beyond, but also telling my story of being part of creating the musical of Mamma Mia and how that was, and the things that happened or didn't happen, working with Ben and Björn, and what that was like, starting as a completely new person in this profession, and that being my first job. Talk about baptism of fire. It was like, let's just throw her in properly the deep end, right? And I had to sink or swim. I had to learn butterfly, essentially. And so I did this show. So I started it last year before Christmas, and it was a huge success. And now we're running it a second time. I'm starting in February, and we're going to tour, do 20 dates, I think it is, or something like that, around Norway. And one of my concerts already sold out, so it's selling really quickly and really well. And I'm so proud of it. I have an amazing, my musical director, who I asked to do this. He's just fantastic, and we've done a really big pre-production job so that it's going to sound as close to ABBA as you kind of can. And I have a fantastic band and fantastic backing singers, but it is just that. So I'm basically singing and speaking 90 minutes straight. There is no break. My break is me doing a quick change. So there's no break whatsoever. And it's just been a blast. And the music of ABBA, to me, it's always moved me so deeply. I find it so uplifting, so moving, so deeply human, and I can't explain what it is about their music, but there's something about it which hits me differently and gives me something that is so joyful. And I can see that when I'm performing, with my audience, how different they are when they leave to how they came. When they come, they're very Norwegian. They're all very quiet, and they sit there very quietly. And I've built my show for a Norwegian audience so that it starts gently, and then by the end, they can't help but stand up and sing along. And that's what we do. So my goal with this was to share this amazing music with people, my story, but also my goal is always to try to make people's lives a little bit better with what I do. And that to me is the biggest thing, when after the show I get to talk to people and they come and they take photographs with me and they have had such a good time and how much it's meant to them. That is what I do it for. That's why I love this. It's because of them. If I just had no audience, it wouldn't be half as fun. It's because of the reaction of them and what it means to them that it really feels very meaningful. And I'm very grateful, like we started this interview with, I feel so grateful to have a job where and I don't mean this from an ego perspective. I hope people don't misunderstand me, but it feels very good to me because I can see that what I do impacts people. I can see it in real time. And I don't take that lightly. I take it very seriously. So the things that I say yes to being a part of, I do try and make it something that's actually going to be good for the world to be out there. That it's a positive, that it's going to be meaningful to people and not just spreading something that I don't think is helping humanity. So, I'm all about spreading good energy. That's what I love doing. And and I'm just so grateful that I get to do this.
Yes. You talk about how grateful what you do impacts people and how you see it in real time. I think you're probably the first person in my entire life who's ever expressed that and explained your mission in real time. That is your mission, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is your mission. Yeah.
It is my mission. And I actually struggled a lot during the whole COVID thing with what am I here for if I'm not allowed to do what I do? Because that is what I do. And I can do it via film and I can do it via voiceover for sure. But the live thing is different because you can actually see it happen. But I just like spreading goodness and kindness where I can. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not some saint or anything like that, I have bad sides like everybody else, we all have light and dark and we're all working on our dark side, so that doesn't bother us, right? We all have a shadow, right? And I do too. But my goal though is to try and bring out as much light and good energy as I possibly can, in all humility, and in collaboration with other people. So when I wasn't allowed to do that, I was really struggling with what is the point of life? Like what, I get that I'm a wife and a mother, and obviously that's my number one. That's what drives me more than anything. If I didn't have my career anymore, I'd struggle, but I would survive, right? But I was struggling with the question of what is this? Like, what is this for? What is this body, this energy? What is this here for? What's my mission? And call it God or universe or whatever, it doesn't matter. But I do believe in an energy that's out there that we can use for good or not, right? I don't think I just think there's a force out there. And the epiphany came to me. My first live show back after COVID was an ABBA concert, and it was with a big band in the north of Norway, where I'm from, not my hometown, but just south of there, but my kind of people, right? We speak the same language. We're very direct. There's a off the cuff sense of humor up there. There's a no messing around, no nonsense, right? There's no frills, there's no nonsense. These are salt of the earth working people, okay? And I love them. So I'm doing an ABBA show with a big band in front of these people, and I haven't performed in 2 years since the Oscars. Like, I went from the Oscars to that, okay? And I'm standing there and I'm doing this concert and I'm giving it my everything. Like, I am sweating, I am, the glitter is like coming off my costume, like, and the audience are going nuts. They're all standing on their feet. people are loving it. And I had such a clear message that was like, this is what you're good, this is what it's for, this is what you're here for, is for this, because you are helping people feel better about their lives for a split second. And the thing is, I say this in my show, so I believe music is a bridge, right? I believe it's a bridge to peace. It's a bridge between humanity. And when you feel good, you are stronger for your family. When your family is stronger, it means that you have a stronger community. When your community is stronger, you have a stronger nation. When your nation is stronger and healthy, and by strong, I mean a healthy, happy nation, right? When you have a healthy, happy nation, you can affect the world in a much better way than if you have a nation who's divided and fighting and unhappy and where people are struggling, right? And, yes, we can have that existential discussion about what is art for, really. I don't like art ever to be all hoity-toity, because I feel like the point of the whole thing is to connect us as human beings. And I believe that's what it's there to do, is for us to feel something together. You don't have to like it. That's also a feeling. Like if you go to something and you don't like it, like this is, you hate it, you think it's absolutely shit. That's also a feeling, and that's also an experience. So you don't have to judge the experience. It's just that you have a shared experience with other people. And when you have that, it does something to us as people. And I think that's where it lies. And it doesn't matter if it's live or if it's film or TV or if it's, voiceover. I mean, look at how, when you have actors who pass away, right, who mean something to people. Like when Matthew Perry died from Friends.
Yeah.
That hit me really hard. I don't know him.
Did. Yeah.
I've never met Matthew Perry.
Yep.
But the thing is, I have had so many years of history watching Matthew Perry on that show. I would have felt the same no matter who of them passed away, because it's like they are family, even though I've never met them, because they were such important part of my life at Lippa, watching that show every week, rushing home to watch that show, connected me and my student friends. And now it connects me and my children and my husband. We watch it together.
Oh, yeah.
And they share the jokes.
That's
and I
right.
can say pivot and everyone knows what I'm talking about. I can say the holiday armadillo and everybody knows that that's from Friends and my family, right? And it connects us. So something as sort of harmless and sort of, fun and seemingly unimportant is really important because of how it made you feel at the time. And so it doesn't have to be, Sophie's Choice. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be art in that sphere. It can be something like Friends or ABBA. And it can be really important because people will, we all remember memories, right? So when you go to something and you felt something and you shared that with somebody, you'll always remember that. You might forget the gifts people gave you, but you will remember experiences. And I do think that that's really, really important and big. And we see this culturally too. If you want to destroy a culture, what do you start with? Well, obviously you start with starving people and denying them water, but you also remove their language. You remove their dance. You remove their rituals. You remove their drumming. You remove, their singing. That's what you deny them to do. That's how you destroy a people. And we see this over and over again around the world. Everyone thinks war is some new thing. It's always been here. There's always been awful people who feel they have the right to go and destroy other human beings. And I will always pray for peace. I hope, by God, one day this world is a nicer place where we can all just sit and chat like me and you, and people can just judge each other by character rather than what we look like or where we come from. And also, I don't understand when people get offended if you ask where they're from, because to me, that's one of the most interesting questions. Where are you from? How can we connect? Like, I want to connect with you. You know, if you're from London, awesome. You know, we can connect there. Like, it's not, I think we gotta try and find connections with each other as people from all over the world, you know. Now more than ever, I think we're at a weird point in time where it feels like there are different forces trying to pull us in this and that direction. And to me, the whole thing, you know, with all the guests that you've had, with champagne and wine and cigars and all of that, they're just ways for us to connect, right? They are just tools for us to find a tribe, for us to find people we vibe with, to have a fun time, you know. And I realize now everyone in the world is at a place where that is the priority, right? We all have different lives, but no matter where we are at in life, as long as we're not in a crisis situation where it's not possible, but to connect as human beings on any level, and to be able to listen to each other, to look each other in the eye and to have conversation, it is what is going to create more peace, more cohesion, more collaboration, more conversation, more love. And I do think that's where we got to start. Like, start in your own backyard by talking to your neighbor, talk to the people in the shop, smile at them. Smiling, I find, is like, we've talked about this, you know, like saying, hey, how are you doing? Or have a nice day. And, you know, and it sounds so corny. And I don't know why people hate in Europe, hate it when they're like, Americans are so fake. I don't think so. I would much rather take that any time of day where people say, you know, have a nice day. Or, hey, how are you? Wow, thanks, you know. It's how you start a conversation. So we all just got to do more of that and connect with each other. And I think that's how we should all live our lives. Thank you very much.
Wow, what a great way for us to end
Drop
this
mic.
show. Drop the mic. You know, we got to end this show on that. We have to end the show on that, man.
I love you, Oris.
I love you too. You know, Lisa, this has been, wow, you are our first lady of the whole ladies. So we have the Lady Empower series, and you are kicking it off, and we're very honored to have you. You really ended on a good note. It's about conversing, ladies and gentlemen. It's about, you know, Lisa, you said some things, you know, and we're both very good at it. We're very blessed with it. We don't want anything. I love when one of the things that's kept us here in Norway is we're constantly being greeted by people, because Daddy, I'm constantly talking to people. My daughter, my son, they always say hi to people. That's my big thing. Say hi,
That's
give them a hug.
what I said to you. That's what I said to you. That's why you're going to be okay in Norway.
You know what I mean?
Because people can't not respond.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I've been in and out of this country for 10 years, and I have to say, people say the same thing. They said, when I drop the kids off to school, I meet people's parents that come up to me and go, You are Sophia's dad, Lucas's dad. You're the one that makes everybody smile every morning. Thank you for having. And I'm laughing, and my wife laughs because my wife is going, that's who he is. That's who I am. You know, and like you said, right? It does, right? And I told you, like you, I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I never liked asking them for things or even favors. I don't want to, because sometimes I know they get it from everyone, right? You know, everyone's constantly like, oh, can I have this? Can I do? And me, I hate that. So a lot of my friendship and a lot of the gigs I have has come from conversations, just casual conversations. And I get a text, hey, so-and-so wants to meet you. This producer wants to talk to you. I'm like, what? Well, I didn't know he was a producer. Shit, I thought he was a guy that, I thought he was into...
I never know these things.
Don't know these things. Are you kidding me?
These things.
I thought the guy was in tech. No, don't you know?
At that.
Google the guy. And I go, Google, and I go, oh my goodness, shoot. But anyway, listen, Lisa, I know this is just the beginning of what's to come for us, and I'm looking forward
We're not prime, Oris. We're not prime.
We're not prime. I'm looking forward to
We're
many
not
more
prime.
stuff. I know.
I'm just getting started, man.
I'm just getting warmed up too.
My kids are big. I am home free. Like, they're big kids now, and
they're ready to fly.
They're ready to fly. Yeah, and it gives mommy a chance to spread her wings a little wider too.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Lisa, thank you so much.
Yeah, and I love you so much.
I love you. I love you too. But
I
wait.
Look forward to our show.
Oh, wait. Just wait. Oh yeah. Wait. Let me stop this. Watch this. So don't make a move. Don't move yet.